What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you all so much for the continuous support. And yeah, so today's video, we're gonna go ahead and install the coilovers that MaXpeedingRods sent to me to review. So I'm gonna head down to Panda's house. He's gonna let me use his driveway, because apart from the vlog, I'm also filming like a little cinematic video for the install with my big camera, my stabilizer and stuff like that. I'll even show you guys what equipment I use when I shoot my photos and videos and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys are into that stuff, but I could definitely show you guys. And you know, if anybody's interested, I could, you know, show you the basics of photography. So let's get going. So, just pulled up to Panda's house because, like I said, we're gonna use his driveway because I wanted to film a nice video with my other camera. I'm really excited to see how these coilovers are gonna hold up and you know, the ride quality and all that. So, in the last video that I mentioned them, I said they were 32 way adjustable. They're actually 24. But you know, regardless, we'll set them up to what we feel is appropriate, and then we'll go do some driving. So Panda said just to put the car in the garage, and it's gonna be kind of a tight space, but I'll make it work. Besides, I just really wanted to show more of like cinematic clips of like removing and installing the coilovers and stuff like that. So it'd be kind of cool to be in a creative mindset trying to film a video. So we'll see if it even comes out how I want it to, or if I can even use any clips that I shoot. But anyways, let's go. Okay, so before we even get started with the install, I just want to show you guys the box. It's a pretty standard box, just a black box, and then it's got their logo here on the side. Really cool. I like that it's nice and simple. They didn't try to make it too crazy, you know. So you get a little brochure. They've got quite a few things actually, and it's pretty cool. The turbos, connecting rods. Yeah, they got the all the people who they've sponsored. It's cool. Yeah, these are some pretty big names actually, and yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so you get a brochure that's got other info on it. Set that off to the side, and then here we go. These are the coilovers here. I did open them already and check them out, and I was actually kind of impressed by the way that they come. So we've got obviously going to be a rear coilover right here. I'll go ahead and just take it out of the wrapping. day. So this is the coilover. And then, as always, you know, before you install any suspension or anything like that, you want to make sure that everything is nice and tight, and all the collars, you know, they're locked up. And you know, before you install, you do have to set height adjustment. So because I already have coilovers on my car, I'm just going to remove the ones from my car, kind of match them to this, make a little bit of a height adjustment. These look like they go really low, which is you know, kind of exciting because I do really like a low ride, but hopefully we can get a low ride without sacrificing any ride quality. Like I said, they are 24-way dampening adjustable, so they got the clicks and all that. That's very cool because I do want to see the range of dampening. So let's get started. Just to give you guys a little insight on what I'm using. So this is the camera is a Sony A7 II. It's an older Sony, but it's still very, very good. It shoots at 1080 60 frames per second. So it's not 4K, but it doesn't really matter because at 1080 at 60 frames per second it's still, you know, really, really good. The lens, this is actually where most of the quality is going to come from. This is a Sigma 2470 lens. I was running an 85mm, a 28mm, and a 50mm, but I finally pulled the trigger on a 2470 lens. And then the stabilizer, this is a Ronin DJI Ronin M. This is an older stabilizer. I think this is only like a 3-axis stabilizer, which is fine. I mean, it's not like I use it a lot, and it definitely just does come in handy whenever I do use it. And I've always just been one to kind of just work with whatever I got and just make it work. But yeah, so this is the equipment that I'll be using, and yeah, let's go ahead and start filming. This car's up in the air, and I've been filming back and forth on the camera, but I got the coilovers out. And so these are the buddy clubs, and then these are the MaXpeedingRod coilovers. As far as like the design goes, I really, you know, can't really tell much of a difference. Everything looks almost identical. Of course, you know, there's only a certain way that you can put a coilover together, and but you know, the only difference is that this is all branded with Buddy Club, but they weigh about the same. They weigh about the same. What I do like is that right off the bat, you can tell that these go about an inch lower than the Buddy Clubs. So this little collar is all the way up, so is this one. And I measured from the top hat down to the top of this, and from the top hat to the top of the collar. And these go an inch lower than the Buddy Clubs. Not that it matters, but some people like to drive really low. But like I said, I really want to see how these are going to hold up riding low, and as far as the travel and the spring rates go on the coilover. So let's go ahead and finish up the install. So I've got the coilovers mocked up, and I'm just gonna set them to the lowest settings. And so in the front it'll be max low. The rear, I'm probably gonna match because the fitment in the rear is a little bit tighter than the front. But what I do like about these is that they supply you with this holder for the brake lines. Unfortunately, I don't think my Buddy Clubs came with it, but it's the small things like this that make these installs easier for the end user, because you know, you can just slide it in. You know, you don't have to worry about you know, trying to find a bracket or something, or you know, zip tying the brake line to the coilover or whatever. So I really like that about these. So that's a plus. So I went to tighten up the fork, and that's another thing that I really like about this too, is that they made these coilovers to be universal for the Civic chassis, as far as it goes for the EF, the EG, and the EK Integra, and also like the DA. And yeah, so you know, I went to tighten up the fork, and I was like, hey, what the heck, it's not tightening up. Well, they supply you with these little collars to insert into the fork, and then as you tighten it up, this will tighten up the bottom of the coilover, which is awesome. I really like that they made this a universal coilover for the Civic and early Integra chassis. So that little collar is now in the fork, and then I just got to put it back into the coilover body, tighten everything up, and we should be good to go. And the car is now on the ground and it is dumped. These coilovers definitely sit a lot lower at the max low setting than the previous ones. So like I said, I want to see how they drive in this form, you know, and I'm excited. So now I have to do the rears, and I think the rears I'm actually going to leave the same height, because I really like this look right here. So I'm just going to make sure that the rears match, you know, the ones that are on there right now, and then we'll go ahead and install them, and then we go ahead and drive the car. All right, so I just finished installing the coilovers, and so right off the bat, the biggest difference that I noticed is going to be the spring rate from compared to like the Buddy Clubs. But this is also a coilover that's, you know, a fraction of the cost of the Buddy Clubs. But you know, it's still it's a budget coilover, and you know, let's see how it handles. And I know I'm gonna have to adjust the height. I tried to match everything as good as I can, which is why I want to drive the car around and hit a few bumps and stuff like that, so I can go ahead and get the suspension, you know, to kind of settle in. I know it's going to take a bit for it to settle in, but you know, we can do the best that we can. So I made sure everything was torqued, and the car is definitely sitting a lot lower than it was before, so I gotta be careful. Yep, that's a scrape. Let's go for this test drive. I mean, just a few feet that I've driven already, you know, it feels pretty smooth. I'm not gonna lie, they feel really smooth. So I set the dampening to full stiff. I clicked it 24 times, and you know, so far so good. Honestly, like, just that initial movement felt really nice. But pretty impressed. That was a very bumpy road, and I know the GoPro stabilizer does a good job of, you know, not showing that, but initially it's pretty good. So I want to say that it's the downpipe scraping, because the downpipe hangs pretty low. and because it is 3-inch piping, sits pretty close to my linkage, and I think it's like causing my linkage to like move around. So this is actually a tucking tire, and it's too aggressive for my liking, so I am gonna have to raise the car up a little bit. This is probably the worst part about putting on new suspension, because it is time consuming. As you can tell, this tucking tire over here too, it's a lot lower on this side, but the front sits a lot lower than before. You know, I kind of really like it at this height, but unfortunately, because I am turbo, my downpipe is scraping, and you know, I can't have that, and I don't want anything to get damaged. But dude, I really like this ride height, because you can tell I'm tucking tires. So you know, if you follow this line on the tire, I'm tucking this much tire into the fender, which is crazy. But I do have to adjust it. I do have to adjust that, so I'm going to do that now. All right, so you got a one-piece coilover like this, right? Now, what a lot of people do is, so this bottom collar locks this piece here. But what a lot of people do to lower their car is drop it from here. When you have a one-piece coilover like this, this is what this piece is for. You spin it so you can, so right now it's just maxed out, but I want to raise the car, so I'm spinning it and pushing this piece down, essentially making the car taller. So just go ahead and you know, do this. This is just for demonstration. I still have to measure everything out, and I kind of want to add maybe ½ an inch of height to the front. Sounds like a lot, but I think with the travel from the spring, this is not that heavy of a spring rate, but it rides really good. From the little bit that I drove it, it felt really nice. So like I said, you gotta adjust it from here, you know. So if you want to go lower, you'll want to bring this piece up and you screw it in. If you want to raise the car, then you know, you kind of loosen it. And then once you got your height set, you go ahead and just lock it with this upper collar right here. So I have adjusted the height using a tape measure, and you know, this is just what works for me. I set a reference point. For example, here I'm using the bottom of the spring, since the preload was already set, and I measured the preload on both sides, from the top hat down to the bottom of the spring. So I can just go ahead and use the spring as a reference point of where I want this bottom piece to be. So from here, it's going to be about, I set it to 3/4 of an inch, or 2 3/4 of an inch, sorry. So I set this to 2 3/4 of an inch, the distance from the spring and the lower shock body. So now I can just go ahead and bring this collar down, and I can just set it on the lower shock body. All right, so I raised up the front already, and as you can tell, it is, you know, difference in the height, and we got more of a matching height now, so it's pretty good. So now I gotta focus on the rear. The rear is it's a little bit too tucked in, so gotta address that. See, this side is really low, so I gotta fix that. This is literally the worst part about doing suspension work. So I adjusted the front, adjusted the rear. It sits a little bit better. I really wanted to ride it, you know, low like that, leave it low, but it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. I need to roll the rear quarter panels, and they're not rolled. I just, before I did all the paint work, I just kind of tapped them with a mallet and just folded the lip of the rear quarter panel. But let's go for a test drive, and let's see if there's any more scraping. So we'll just go down the same road. It's pretty bumpy, like I said. a dip in the road, and it handled it pretty good actually. So the dampening is set to as stiff as it can go. I did 24 clicks, so I'm actually gonna dial it back a little bit. They're not as stiff as my previous coilovers, that's for sure. But I am gonna dial it back maybe 12 clicks, so set it right in the middle. I'll set it right in the middle, and just kind of set them there. It is a little bit stiff, but like I said, not as stiff as my previous coilovers. But I am actually very, very impressed. The price point of these coilovers, I think so far 100% worth it. For the price of these coilovers, honestly, the little bit that I just drove it, I'm really, really impressed. And like I said, the only difference is I think it's going to be the spring rate. And my buddy club has definitely had a higher spring rate than these. But honestly, like, these were pretty comfortable for that little drive. Of course, this is not the end of the video. I am going to go on longer drive just to really feel them out. Obviously, you know, I still drive my car, and just excited to really see how these feel. I wasn't really due for new coilovers, so it's not like I was obligated to do this. They reached out to me, and you know, I said sure, let's do it. Ultimately because I wanted to give back to you guys. So they are going to give me a discount code. I'll put the discount code and the link to these coilovers in the description. So let's get going with the video. This is not it. There's definitely more to be you know, to be done. So right now, like I said, I am gonna dial it back a few clicks because it is kind of stiff, and I just want to see how comfortable we can get it while maintaining, you know, some sort of like nice and stiff, sporty feel, if that makes any sense. But like I said, so far I'm really, really impressed with these coilovers. It set to halfway, but I added 6 clicks, so we're at 18 clicks in the rear and 12 in the front, and honestly that made a pretty good difference. Now I do have some slight rubbing. I need to adjust the rear some more, but it feels pretty good. Alright, so it is Friday, and I've been driving on these coilovers since last Saturday, and you know, I'm really happy with them. As far as for like a daily driver goes, I think they are pretty good. Like I said, I think if so, the front spring rate is 8K and the rear spring rate is 5K. I already reached out to MaXpeedingRods and told them if they did 8K all around, I think the suspension would be better. I think 10K and 8K in the rear would be perfect for like a balanced coilover for, you know, for like daily driving slash having some fun, you know what I mean? Not really a track coilover, but honestly, for the price point, like I really have no complaints, you know. I kind of came in with zero expectations for it, and the dampening really makes a difference. 24 weight adjustable. Like I said, my biggest concern is that the rear spring rate is too soft. So just my luck though, because it's Friday, drove the car. Like I said, I've been driving the car to work all week, and just my luck, I got a nail. Oh, look, there it is. You can see it. I got a nail in my rear tire. So that kind of sucks. But I do have to adjust the coilovers. The rear is sitting lower than I would like. It was sitting way lower, but now this will be a good time to just, you know, get it up in the air and adjust it some more. The front, I think I want to go up just a hair. My downpipe is hitting. Whenever like it compresses, so it's not really the suspension's fault. It's more of just my downpipe hangs really low, and it's just the H2B problem. But if the spring rate was a little bit stiffer in the front, then I think I wouldn't be having such an issue, and I could probably go lower. But because my downpipe hangs low, I can't really you know, slam my car like I would like to. And it's kind of difficult because I got a pretty like aggressive tire setup and you know, wheel setup too. But yeah, so let me go ahead and get the car up in the air. I got to adjust the rear coilovers. When the rear compresses, it's kind of rubbing on the inside. Like I said, my fenders aren't rolled. I just kind of tapped them in with a mallet before I sent it out to paint, and this is already almost, I think it's been like 2 years or so. So, you know, not really too big of a concern. So this right here is the final ride height that I'm gonna have the coilovers on. The front, perfect, like that. I think I need to add just a little bit more camber to the front, and then we should be good. This is just tire grease. But the rear fitment, you know, it's real nice too. The ground is uneven right now, but this is usually sitting like right above the tire, but because the ground is uneven, it looks a little bit lower. All in all, I really like these coilovers. So the link to the coilovers is in my description below. You know, so I do want to give away a set to my subscribers. So drop a comment below how you guys think we should do it, and then I did unlock the community tab for YouTube. That's pretty cool. I've been waiting for that feature for a long time, so I can just do posts and stuff. So I'll post an update there on how we want to do the giveaway, but I do want to give away a set to one of you guys. So let me talk to MaXpeedingRods, and I'll see if I can get a set out to you guys. If not, I'll buy a set and I'll give one away. The set that's on my car is gonna stay. That way I can do some, you know, some more testing on them and stuff. But honestly, overall, I drove them, you know, from work and back. I did a little bit of spirited driving. I did some pulls here and there, you know, you guys can see it. And like I said, the rear spring rate's a little bit too soft for my liking. But honestly, if you had like a daily driver that you just wanted like a nice comfy ride, I think these coilovers would be it. I really would not throw these on something that's like more like track oriented. I think the spring rates are too soft. But for something that's like a daily driver and like a little weekender, you know, car, I think they're pretty good, especially for the price point. I think they're like $349. So go check them out. Like I said, I'll leave the link in the description below. I appreciate the support from you guys, and catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.